the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
What do you know? I made a mistake.
So that's all right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We're only human around here. You know
Speak
what?
Or you made back.
Well, look, I got to say, first of all, it's a good Thursday morning to everyone here, and so far that everyone includes Anima Confusa, yeah, T-Bud Martin, hey, Martin, how are you this morning, my friend?
A little confused, apparently. but apart from that, I'm fine. I'm fine. Very happy to be with you.
Well, look. Let me go ahead and I just received this, and it's looking like we might have a little bit of breaking news. Oh, I know. It's very rare that I get to break something. and again, in this case, I think it's something that I'm kind of anxious to see. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit of breaking news. Actually, it broke about an hour ago. But it just came across here. I figured I'd at least say something. It looks like we have the actual premiere date for the final season of the Umbrella Academy.
I lost all interest in that show.
I still have interest because I like the comic, and I've liked these actors. I think they're decent people. I just think that I would definitely like to finish out the story. So,
They deviated too much from the comics. It's
they have
completely new story.
It is a completely new story, but I do like it. I do like what they've done. But the date will be Thursday, August 8th of this year. So for those of you that are still interested, there you go. And I will say this, I find Umbrella Academy to at least be a little more enjoyable than a lot of the stuff that Netflix has bent a little bit in their race to adapt a lot of material.
That would be the fourth season, right?
Yeah, the fourth and final season.
Yeah, I only saw 1 and 2. I didn't want to watch the third one. I said, this is a fan fiction.
That's pretty much what a lot of this has been reduced to. And also to let everybody know, the next episode of the D-Files is now up from the good men at Film Threat. This has been a rather interesting story. Now, for those that don't know, Film Threat, you have Chris Gore and Alan Ng, who have been basically receiving emails and other correspondence from people within the industry of animation. This started out from a review of the 100th anniversary animated film Wish by Walt Disney, of which Alan Ng was probably the biggest Disney fan that there probably ever was. And he was greatly, deeply disappointed in that film. And it sparked many people within Disney to reach out to him and to basically start talking about what's actually going on behind the scenes. And it's not good. It's not good. And I will say this: one of the other fascinating things about this is that it's had an effect, because there are other people who are reaching out to these guys to talk about what everything's like behind the scenes, really in the entertainment industry, and especially in Hollywood. And it's not good. It's not good at all. It's in certain ways, it's a lot worse than what we've heard.
Damn.
It is really bad.
Yeah, because what we have heard and we have seen and we can read every day is bad already. It's too bad.
Oh, wait
It's
till you get to
it's industry threatening, and you're saying
yes.
that it's worse. Damn.
Yeah, it's worse. They admit that there are things that stories that they haven't told, because it would give away too much the identity of the person who contacted them. Many of these people have trusted them with their own identities. In an attempt to actually prove that they not only know what they're talking about, but who they are. And you're talking about people that actually have real industry credits, have worked on some of the biggest films out there. Many of these people still work for either Disney or other places. And it's Lady Penny. Hello, Lady Penny. It's really good. And if you have not been following the Film Threat channel on YouTube, everything's there. You can watch all the episodes. This is the kind of stuff that I remember when I was growing up. This is the kind of stuff that you would find really from 60 Minutes. And now we've reached a point where we can have a geek or nerd 60 Minutes type in-depth reporting. This is not good. You know, I have now leaned. I'm someone who grew up with a lot of Disney content, and I can remember when. Really, I grew up at a time to see weekly Disney content on network TV. In fact, on all three networks. After what I've read and the stuff that they've talked about, I am leaning towards believing that there is almost no hope for Disney at this point, because it's so bad.
Well,
Behind the
being
scenes.
sold or selling most of their newly acquired constituent parts, I think maybe Disney could be reduced to the theme parks and maybe the hotels.
Which is sad, because that's not how it started out. You know, Disney is and will always be, in my mind, animation. And for them to announce last week that they are opening up and will be depending heavily on the new Canadian studio.
Oh yeah, with the Moana thing.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
my
it's
god.
not just that, it's what it represents. It's the
Yeah.
fact that you're now animating outside the United States.
Hmm.
And that might not be that big of a deal for those that are under the age of 40. But for anyone over the age of 40, that's devastating. And given what has happened, and for Disney to be doing that, that's sad, especially after what happened with Filmation. Filmation was the last of the non-Disney independent animation studios. Lou Scheimer and the gang at Filmation were the last to basically call it quits, leaving only Disney. And I also tell people all the time, go look up the Filmation documentary. You know, you need to know how incredible that was to have that company around. And the fact that Lou Scheimer thought it was very important to always animate in the United States, to never send his stuff overseas. And uh, when other animation studios started to go out of business and take their business overseas, Lou Scheimer
Mm,
tried to make room for anybody that had lost their job to join him.
yeah.
And eventually time caught up to them. The business changed too much, and eventually he had to shut the doors. But I will tell you, you will learn a lot, and you will learn to truly appreciate what Filmation was able to do, uh, which is part of the reason why I have such a
Oh, I do, man. I
place.
grow up watching
Oh, Phil.
Filmation
Oh,
shows.
geez. To just learning what I have learned, I did not realize the Easter eggs and stuff involved when they would put stuff together. Again, uh, the name Bud Collyer may not mean very much to a lot of people. But if you're a Superman fan, you need to know that Bud Collyer is was the very first person to ever really be Superman outside of the comic strips and comics. He was the voice of Superman in the Superman radio show that premiered. And for Lou Scheimer and Filmation to bring Bud Collyer back as the voice of the narrator for their Superman cartoons in the 1960s was huge. Not a lot of kids growing up in the 60s would have recognized that voice, but anyone who was old enough to at least have heard the Superman cartoons, any older person, parents, whatever, they would have recognized that voice. They would have got a little bit of a smile on their face. So whenever you look up any of the Filmation Superman cartoons and you hear the voice of the narrator talking about, and Superman did, that's Bud Collyer.
Man, that should have been a moment like, for example, the first time I ran the first Arkham game,
Mm-hmm.
I heard Batman talking. Oh my God, that's Batman!
Mm-hmm. That's it. But it's on par when Adam West did the Gray Ghost episode of Batman the Animated Series. You know, so Adam West and Kevin Conroy got a chance to work together.
Hey, Wolverine, how
Wolverine,
are you today?
yes, that's what I'm talking. There you go, timid. This looks like a job for Superman. Yes, that's Bud Collyer. you had to be able to convey that on radio, how his transformation would go from being Clark Kent to Superman. And the all-new Adventures of Superman cartoons. Yes, D. Bud Martin, yes. And there's a reason why they named it that way. Because, they were trying to key off of the Superman television series. Again, if you're under a certain age or you've never have seen those, you need to understand how popular that show was.
Which one, the animated or the black and white live action?
The original Superman live action series.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Called The Adventures of Superman. That's what the name of the show was. It was as popular at its height as The Walking Dead was at its height. It was as popular at its height as of the first couple seasons of American Idol. That's how popular that show was. And so to have an animated series pick up in a way from where the television series left off, that was the reason why it was called The New Adventures of Superman. Yeah, D-Bud, he says he saw those Superman cartoons before he saw the Reeves Superman TV show. By the way, the Filmation Aquaman cartoons from the 60s were good too. Of course, all of the DC stuff was done by Filmation. And not to be left out, Marvel had its own cartoons, but the studio that they were using at that time wasn't of the same quality. Now, I'm not going to say they were. Yeah, go ahead.
They look. Those were the ones that look like moving comics, right?
That's right. Now, I think the only one that had actually been done up a little bit. Oh, Pacific 414. Hello. Good morning to you, my friend. Pacific 414. If you're not following, follow that guy. It's great. But I will say this. The Spider-Man animated cartoons from the 60s. That to me is Spider-Man. Yes. I know that's going to make me sound like an old fogey, but that is Spider-Man to me.
Well, that cartoon gave us the real theme for Spider-Man.
Yes. And so
that is, even Raimi used it with the bomb in the train in the metro.
Yep. Well, I think Aerosmith also did the Spider-Man theme.
Really?
They cut a version of that. Steven Tyler just getting down, singing Spider-Man. But look, Yolkman, good morning. Let's see. And Wolverine 626 says, I always found it funny that the George Reeves Superman wasn't afraid of bullets, but always ducked whenever he was
That is a fact.
Hey, come on. I mean, it was what it was. Look, to me, for me, it was, I'm old, and yes, the 60s Spider-Man cartoon is the Spider-Man, just as the 60s Hanna-Barbera FF cartoons is the FF. You got that right. And you know what? Let me just say this, man. How many people here, I know we're going off on a big tangent, and we're going to make our way back around, but how many people here saw the announcement about Fantastic Four, the little Valentine's Day announcement that they put out?
Oh, I've just seen the poster.
That's it. That's what they put out. That's it. That was their way of quote unquote officially announcing that this is it, even though they've already had a press release. I tell you, I'm not sold. I had to come to grips with the fact that Marvel Studios has lost me. Okay. I mean, I've tried to fight it. I've tried to find different ways around it, but they've lost me. It took them 10 years to get to the point where they were automatic, and it's taken them almost as long to go the opposite way. And I'm sorry, I wish there had been a way for things to be better. But the same people who at least assisted in getting us to the point where we loved it had a very big hand in basically killing our enthusiasm for Marvel films. And I gotta say that, hold on, Wolverine 626 says, the 90s Spider-Man animated series is my Spider-Man. Lou Grant as Jameson, what's not to love? Hey, everybody's got their thing, man. Everybody's got their big thing. Everybody. I just got to say that Marvel Studios has an opportunity to do something really cool, but it's looking more and more like they're not taking the hint, that they're not understanding what they have to do. And if even half of what I have heard rumored about this movie is the direction they're going to go, look, Fantastic Four, in my opinion, is one of the best properties they ever came up with. In fact, it was my introduction to Marvel Comics, was Fantastic Four. That was my introduction. Those characters mean something to me. They meant a lot as a child and still do to this day. If they can't get that right, if they just Shinatsky, hey, Marvel went from 4 to Boar. That's a good one. If they can't get,
you know what's coming.
Yeah, if they're going to even do half the things that I have heard, I can't in good conscience give my money over to that. Even though Vanessa Kirby is good casting. I think she would make an excellent Sue Storm. I kind of question the rest of the cast, but then again, from what I've heard, if they're going to go the direction that I've heard, then you've got the perfect cast to play out that version that they're wanting to give us. But I'll tell you right now, that is not Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, given what Marvel Studios has done to the Marvel property, this would almost kill Jack Kirby, in my opinion. This would almost kill him, because
given what they have done to the Fantastic Four in live action through the years, wow.
Well, I think Jack would have at least been able to take the first movie, and it's like, okay. The second movie, okay. The Josh Trank movie, what was that? And now this one?
Well, I said what was that since the first one. Oh man, that hurt me. Because, in my opinion,
yeah,
for those actors were in the right age for those characters.
mm-hmm.
Mr. Incredible was perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic. I mean, he was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Sue Storm, 85%.
Okay.
Man, Michael Chiklis, that was to me was a surprise. Because when I said Michael Chiklis is the thing, you go, what? But then I saw the performance, and man, he did it. And well, Johnny Storm, I think Chris Evans looked too old to be Johnny Storm.
Well, you know what, Martin? I thought the same thing. Johnny Storm is Sue's younger brother. I don't know how many different ways I can keep saying it to people who don't know the Fantastic Four very well. If you're going to cast Sue and Johnny, Sue is older than Johnny. You have to cast someone that actually looks older than the person playing her brother. They can't look the same age, or they can't have him looking older than she is. You just can't. It won't work.
Hey,
about
everybody. No, I'm
yeah,
not denying it. Yes, The Incredibles was a
yes,
better Fantastic Four.
and they would have done better just to.
Undoubtedly.
You know what though? Here's the thing though. The creator of that is no longer with um is no longer with uh Disney, you know? Uh I think somebody could convince him to go ahead and do a Fantastic Four short. Uh
Okay, Ariel has a question. Approximately, what would be the difference in age between Sue and Johnny?
about 6 years, give or take. 6, 7 years. Almost 10. Not quite.
Yeah, to
Sue
me, the
Sue oh,
reference point would be the animated show, the '60s animated show.
yeah, because that's made to look like the comics because it basically was. Here's the thing you got to understand about Reed and Ben and Sue and Johnny. Okay, Reed and Ben are older than Sue. Okay,
Mhm.
Reed is a man in his. Reed's a guy that's at least close to 35. He's over 35. Okay, about 35. And that's about the age that Ben is. They're both 35, not quite 40.
Jesus, Ariel. She's giving Reed 50.
Oh, the gray hair, huh? The gray hair
Well,
always throws them off.
Pedro is going to do a 50, Richard.
um, but I know Ariel, except for one thing. Ben and Reed were in college together. I just think
Oh,
Reed grade
oh,
early. Well, that's the thing. Sue Storm is 25, I think, in the comics when it first started. So he's definitely older than she is. Johnny is 21. That's Johnny's age, 21 years old.
hey.
So, uh, one rumor that I've heard, though, and somebody was just kind of playing with it when they made the announcement, they might end up just, okay, yeah. I'm just saying nowadays with the way actors are, if you can't at least make Johnny look at least 5 to 7 years younger than the person playing his sister, you're doing it wrong. He's Sue is the one basically in that relationship that is constantly yelling at him. But the reason is that she's the older sibling. You know, she's basically had to, in a way, raise her brother. So in some ways, they're brother and sister, but she treats them like a mother. Um, Johnny is that young kid that has the best of everything, and he knows it. And he just loves speed. He loves going fast. You know, um, I remember I used to think that Johnny was still a teenager, but it was explained to me that there was no way he would ever be allowed to fly a rocket if he were a teenager. He had to at least be 20, 21 years old. So, which makes then the fact is that you have a guy in his mid 40s and Ben constantly arguing with a 21-year-old guy. Monkey Jeebus. So, but it also has to, you also have to understand, somebody was joking on a show that one of the ways that Marvel could mess this up is just having Johnny be gay, which would mess up the whole story as to how Ben got together with Alicia Hardy, not Alicia Hardy, but Alicia, who is the daughter of the Mole Man. and she started out dating Johnny first, if I remember correctly. So there's just a whole lot there, a lot of story, a lot of different ways to go, a lot of characters, and now I'm hearing that they're going to start it off with this. They're basically going to go back. Kevin Feige and Marvel decided to take a page out of Phase 1. So in a way, emulating what they did with Captain America by setting this first story in the past. So
look like Ariel Valencia's here.
Oh, jeez. Thank you, Ariel Ballet. I don't think they're going to go that far. I think
question would be who would be the pitcher and who would be the catcher.
Either way, that's going to hurt. And I went down that road with you. I went down that road with you. Yeah. But she is blind. That was part of it. But she'll end up choosing to stay with Ben the longest. It's just yes, you're right, Monkey Jeebus. Her father is the puppet master, not the mole man. I'm sorry. But wow, Ariel Ballet. Oh, Johnny would be the big spoon. Okay. Anyway, that was something that someone came up with on another show, that they could actually see them having Johnny be gay, considering that they're going to have the story take place in the 1960s. And then they're going to move the Fantastic Four into modern day.
How are they going to do that? Are they going to froze them like Cap?
That, or find a way of time traveling and end up stuck here in their future, or the future, where Johnny will be allowed to live how he wants to live, unless they decide to make Ben the gay one, in which case then Johnny can learn not to offend Ben so much.
Oh my God! Please don't give. You realize you're giving them ideas, right?
They're just gonna mess it up anyway, Martin. There's nothing. I can give them all kinds of ideas. They're not gonna follow anyone. Anyone they do follow, they'll use the
monkey
KK rule. Oh, ha. Ooh, okay. Ariel, you guys are going way, way out there. Okay. I think Wolverine 66, bringing it. Yeah, well, Johnny is flaming. Yeah, you're right.
Oh my God.
So that brings us to Madam Web. Didn't we? Ariel Bellett's asking, did we get a more modern take of the FF in the 2000s? No. What we got was a mess. A movie that made its premiere in the Walmart discount bin. Josh Trink's freaking 4, because that's basically what it was. It was messed up. An animation version. Yeah, they had a Saturday morning thing that didn't last that long, and a lot of that
in the 2000s.
Yeah, they had their own animated cartoon. It was actually it was syndicated. I'm sorry, it was syndicated, but it was a lot of that stuff was based on where the comics were those last few years before they did that, and it was not in a good way. I mean, you know. Oh, you know what? Now I remember. The one thing that actually stood out to me that completely made me mad with that picture that they released is they had Herbie in it. God darn it, I can't
Oh,
stand that.
freaking Herbie!
I hate that
No.
thing.
Yeah,
Because Herbie was invented to replace the fact that
Johnny.
they couldn't. Yeah, they couldn't, for whatever reason, when they brought the characters back in animation for Saturday Morning in the 70s, they couldn't have Johnny for some reason. So they invented Herbie. Herbie is just a product of the animated cartoon. He's not something from the comics. And gosh, I hate that character. To me, they should make a movie with Herbie and with Scrappy Doo, and then just have the whole thing nuked and never seen again.
No,
God,
Monkey Jibus.
yeah, you're
Bad
the only
monkey.
you're
Bad
the
monkey.
you're the only one that believes that, my friend. You are the only one that believes that. I mean, could not stand that character. Whew. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, good for them.
So
You
we
never.
have, go
Look,
ahead.
look what Monkey is
Oh,
telling him.
jeez.
No, good for him.
You know what? I hope there's people out there that enjoy that. And if you enjoy it, Monkey, more power to you, my friend. I do not begrudge anyone that likes the character or likes that particular cartoon with that character in it. I just
I don't think we're talking about the same Herbie, Ariel.
you know what? I would have rather have seen Herbie as a Volkswagen. But yeah. But oh jeez. Oh, just wait till they hand him the Cheetos, and then that's an ad that'll take care of itself. Anyway, we've all probably heard about Madam Web by now. Wow, that film's getting roasted right now. I mean, for all of you, for anyone that actually had it in their pool, Madam Web being probably the worst of the Sony films, you're probably going to make a lot of money. Oh, man. Yeah, this film definitely appears to be DOA. And I feel bad for everybody in it. I really do.
They got paid.
They did get paid, but I still feel bad for them. Nobody sets out to make a bad movie, but gosh darn it. Whew. And look, with that trailer and everything, yeah, I see why the MCU and Kevin Feige decided to put that whole thing out there with Fantastic Four, but I don't think I would have done that either. I would have just allowed everything to just lay low and really just allow Ryan Reynolds and his people to take up all the Marvel oxygen, because that's probably going to be the only thing that's going to be any good. Unless...
Well, it's Marvel Jesus.
Marvel Jesus, yes. Shinatsky, wrong, Keith. The movie is titled Madam Bomb. Well, yeah, there you go. Oh, wow. Oh, geez, you guys are coming up with better material than the MCU. Somebody get Kevin Feige on the phone. I think we got something.
And the twist is Herbie is not Herbie. It's really Bumblebee in disguise.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Bumblebee, how you fallen. Anyway, so, okay. So, a lot of you have had an opportunity to at least see the trailer. And it seems to be that a lot of us here are probably going to see the movie.
No,
I what? No, are you
no, I'm not
Marvel?
watching that.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it, Martin. If you look, I'm not going. I am. I have nothing against anyone that wants to go see it. If
No,
you
no,
do,
no. But it's a personal choice. But when I saw the trailer in the theater, I said, nah, I'm not. I'm not paying an entrance ticket for this. Nah, I will watch it on the stream.
yeah. From the look of it, here's the thing. Morbius at least seemed like it would be a lot of fun based on the trailer. I didn't say it looked like it was any good, but it would be fun. Madam Web can't even elicit that from me with the trailer. Some people have already seen it and put out their reviews, Jeremy Johns being one of them. I just have to say that I hope all of the stars of that film can find other work after this. And I'd like to tell Dakota Johnson that I really do hope that she can contact James Gunn and probably hope to sign up for being Zatanna. Or Zatanna, I'm sorry. Zatanna. She'd make a very good Zatanna. So go join the DC universe, my dear. I think you'll get more out of it. But yeah, now that Amy Pascal has decided to do something on her own again, we see how bad she is at making decisions. Remember, this is the same person who had the wild idea after getting all of the original cast to commit to making another movie and changing her mind and going a different direction. Amy Pascal basically ran Sony Pictures, and she got everybody in the original cast of Ghostbusters to come back for one more movie that would have been Ghostbusters 3, and changed her mind to make the all-female Ghostbusters movie instead. Wow.
I cannot believe that.
What?
Oh my god. Having all the cast sign up and ready and say, no, the
Yeah,
fuck?
she did it. Yeah, that's one of the things about the email hack, the Sony email hack. That's one of the things you found out is that, yeah, she did that. So we had an opportunity to at least see the entire cast, everybody back on film one last time, and she changed her mind
Damn.
and figured
Talk about bad callings.
her feeling was, I think we need to have all women, and that's when she started. That's when she started on our all-female kick, all-female heroes kick. The way that Madam Web was originally an idea that she had for an all-female superhero movie is how she described it. Madam Web ain't no superhero. And how you can take a comic with a woman who's about as old, if not older than Aunt May half the time when she's drawn, and think we're gonna have a superhero team with her at the center. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that one. So but you know what's even worse though? Now that the movie's basically out, let me at least try this on you, because I'm sure some of you have not heard this. Some of you have, but some of you haven't. If you thought that the whole Ghostbusters thing was bad, take a listen to this, Martin. Originally, this story for Madam Web was developed to coincide and work with the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. In fact, that's the reason why the movie takes place in 2003. This is meant to coincide with the events and storyline as seen in the Amazing Spider-Man films. Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2.
So this is kind of a prequel.
No, it's meant to be in continuity with those films, but not a prequel. Basically, it's meant to, since Andrew Garfield still looks like he could still do Spider-Man. I mean, he looks good for his age.
Wait. What year did Andrew make Spider-Man?
Early 2000s, so about 2000. That would have been 2005, 2006, if I remember correctly.
Oh, there's a new trailer for Godzilla and Kong. I will watch that later. Let me see. It was called The Amazing Spider-Man, right?
Yep.
Oh, 2012.
Oh, 2012? Okay, well, then it is a prequel to that version of the character. But here's the thing. First, let me say this. Spoilers, okay? Is there anybody that doesn't want to hear this next part? Because it is a spoiler for the movie. Because it's some characters in the film that kind of tie into it. So, first and foremost, let me again say spoilers. So, if you don't want to hear, I need you to cover your ears and slowly count to 10. Right now. Okay. Two characters that you're going to meet in this movie are Peter Parker's parents. And with the whole storyline that they set up in the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, basically, of them being spies, it ties into that storyline. There you go. Okay, now you can uncover your ears and have some fun. And for those who, Anyway, Amy Pascal is someone who I think I agree should not be in charge of anything. But here's something that you need to know. Before she left her job, she was able to get Sony to basically agree to allow her to be a producer on all Spider-Man related projects. Basically, there's no getting rid of her at all. If you want to use Spider-Man in anything, it comes attached with Amy Pascal.
With her or with her name?
Her name and company, yes.
Okay. But you can do something with having her in name only.
Oh no, she gets a chance to have a say in the script. And
shit.
Yeah.
Well.
She was. I think she was also one of those people that agreed to how they made the Spider-Man character for the MCU.
So our grandkids will have the opportunity to see good Spider-Man again.
Someday. But that's the whole confusion about Miles Morales and the Tom Holland version of Spider-Man, where they mixed and matched many of the characters' looks and concepts from Miles Morales and put those into the MCU version of Spider-Man. That was because of Amy Pascal and Avi Arad. Yeah.
I have a very tangled job for you, but I know that you're going to enjoy it. Can you explain web that it is the ownership of Spider-Man?
Very easy, Ariel. Okay, ready? way back in the 80s, James Cameron was going to make a Spider-Man movie. And he was going to get Leonardo DiCaprio to do it.
Oh my God.
And he had the whole thing with the bio web thing coming out, that's James Cameron's idea from his script. And by the time Fox got the rights and was able to finally make a Spider-Man movie, everything had been so tangled up. Cameron, I think, got either paid or he got a credit for the first Tobey Maguire movie. And Sony got the rights to do the whole thing. And so Marvel sold them the rights, or at least they got the rights to use the character in film. Okay? Marvel, with Marvel Publications or Marvel Entertainment, kept all other rights for the character, though. So they kept the TV rights, as well as the publication rights and toy rights. So all Sony got was the movie rights. Ike Perlmutter, everybody. That's why he's smart. That's why he's a billionaire.
And that's why Kevin Feige lied. He lied to get rid of Ike Perlmutter because he was blocking him from doing where he really wanted to go.
Yep.
You and I both fell for his bullshit.
Yeah, we did. I look, I would, in my mind, who would ever admit to being a geek or nerd or reading comics or whatever? He did, though, and he got what he needed out of everybody.
Yeah, he got what he wanted. People think that Victoria Alonso was like working against Feige. No, they were buddies.
Yep. So, I mean, it's, again, Gerry, you're well versed. I mean, this is really how we started our show, was talking about what was going on with Sony. Because, I mean, we started right as the whole Sony email hack thing was coming back and becoming.
Oh, yeah, it just landed. And you and I had watched enough Midnight's Edge and Nerdrotic. We thought, we could do this.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Just wanted to stop in and say good morning, see how you guys are doing.
Oh, it's good. Look, saw you at Midnight's Edge. Good job. Good job.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Paul to stop in, Shadow to stop in with us on Tombstone, or on one of the, like when we do 3 days of the Condor in particular. Tom may stop by on Saturday for Tombstone. Are you going to be there, or you got shit going on this weekend?
I got some things I got to take care of, but look, let me tell you something, man. And I'm saying this to everybody, watching the show too. If you're not really checking up on Tom and Gerry, or Tom and Gerry, you are missing out on a good time. Two guys that know what the blank they are talking about and have so much fun doing it. Okay, that's the operative thing. They're having fun doing it. It's two guys that really enjoy it, and
that's not this Saturday. This Saturday is just Saturday morning fun time.
Yeah, of course.
Well, we call it Saturday afternoon matinee now, because Anima points out that the word matinee in the original form in French means morning, but the fact is, in the United States, matinee just means a movie played while the sun is up.
Yes.
And so I went ahead and changed it to Saturday afternoon matinee, because that's something you and I would go to as kids regularly.
Yeah. Well, that was the name of a show or two I saw while growing up.
We didn't have much money. That was the only thing we could afford.
Oh, geez. Gosh, you're taking
as
me
kids,
back.
I had a newspaper route, and I could probably get 4 movies in a month, and the only way I could afford it was going to the matinee.
That takes me back because they used to have these movie passes that you would go get if you were student movie passes. And
we didn't have those, but man, I would have loved that.
Man, I just loved it. But no, we were just talking about Amy Pascal and what she's done for Madam Web.
Yeah, because we were talking about it yesterday that Amy Pascal, because somebody says, well, is she going to be on everything Spider related? It's like, no, she's not involved with Venom. She's not involved with Madam Web. She's only involved when it's Spider-Man. And that is the only place. And she's going to be there for a while, you know. So far, I got to be honest, she doesn't screw it up too much. But the fact is the sooner we get rid of Kevin Feige, because a lot of people aren't aware that Kevin Feige, you know, is actually involved with the making of all those movies.
Yep.
They may be Sony, but Kevin Feige is an advisor on everything they do. So if you notice woke shit, don't just go blaming Amy Pascal.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige is a woke motherfucker. And he fooled us all for a while. But this is the thing. We finally caught on to his game. Because that shit that he pulled with Ike Perlmutter didn't wash, you know, it didn't come out clean in the wash. There was still poop in it. And it's like, oh, that poop is his. Ike Perlmutter was protecting Marvel from bad woke ideas. He saw what Feige wanted to do, and Feige convinced Disney, which wasn't hard because Bob Iger's woke as fuck.
Yep. That's the reason why he went around. That's the reason why he did an in round around Ike Perlmutter and went straight to Feige.
Yep.
Because I always wondered how you could pull that off and not get slapped down by Alan Horn, who would have been the next person that you went to rather than going all the way to Iger. And that's the reason why he didn't get slapped down.
It's amazing. And what we talked about yesterday is just how bad it is for Iger right now, because that video coming out looks really bad. Makes him look really, really bad.
Well, he's in the same office. That's his office at a time. He put that video out at a time when he should have been gone, and that should have been Chapek's office. He's sitting in the office.
Come on, he needed that bathroom.
Well, we talked about it on the show because, you know, I predicted that he was going to come back. And everybody says, well, we all kind of predicted. I said, I predicted it day one.
Yeah.
Because the minute he didn't step down, it's because he wanted to stick around in the wings to try to be the hero of the day and make sure that things go the way he wants to. He thought that Chapek was going to be his guy.
Yeah.
And Chapek wasn't his guy. My problem with Chapek, still to this day, is he should have found a way to let things slip out publicly. And it would have saved his job. He should have found a way to get that shit leaked out, what was going on. Because he looked so ineffective because of it.
Yeah. But you know what? They bought his silence, and he'll sit until called upon to testify. Because again, as we all learned, just because you have a contract that basically silences you from saying anything, that contract falls apart if you're called upon to testify in court.
Yep, because you can't lie.
You can't lie.
I
agree with boss.
Who will be his number one?
Carl Grissom. Yeah, it's like, what is that line? You're my number one guy. And then Jack does it later, mimicking with Bob. That was one of my favorite moments. Ironically, his name is Bob. So you can lie, yes, but if you get caught, you're in trouble.
Yep. Plus, look,
it's too easy to get caught.
Chapek got this nice deal to leave. I mean, they gave him some money, and they gave him a little more money to shut the F up. And they made him sign a contract thinking that that'll be all it. But if this goes to court and the judge goes, hey, don't you have something to say? You'll hear that ripping sound in the back, that faint ripping sound. That's that contract being torn up. And it's not like,
and you're going to see Bob Iger just like this.
because Chapek, then they can't come after for the money. He did exactly. You cannot defy a judge once he says, "Hey, tell us what you know." And from that point on, he's covered. He can say whatever he wants and not get penalized for it. So I'm sure Chapek's sitting next to the phone, just waiting, sitting on the beach, drinking, waiting for the phone to ring. As Bob Iger continues to drag his name through the mud, and Chapek's just sitting there going, "Yep, you keep laughing, fun boy. Keep laughing."
Yeah, one day, karma. I love karma. Karma. It's. You remember that classic saying, "Time heals all wounds, and time wounds all heals." And I believe that to be a truism. And I think that in the karmic plan that's out there, which is chaos, it's really just chaos. Karma has to happen at some point. And Bob Iger is going to fucking, hey, he's going to rue the day
Yeah,
that he pulled this shit.
He's like Benny in The Mummy. You'll get yours, Benny.
Benny got his.
And Benny got his. So,
yeah, I'm going to bounce. Just want to drop in and say hi to you guys.
Well, thanks for bouncing in, Fred. Look, it's I don't get a chance to do as many of these with you, but whenever I do, it's really special, and you really do bring a lot to the show. Very proud of what you've done and what you've accomplished, and just seeing you out there kick butt, take names, and hanging out with Tom and Andre. That's awesome.
I could be on Midnight's Edge a lot more, but because Tom's pretty much have an open invitation. It's like time, man. I'm so busy all the time, and but it was fun hanging out with him. I have to admit, and I appreciate you saying that, dude. The fact is on those days when we're doing a show and I'm expecting you and you're not able to make it, Martin will tell you I go into panic mode because I don't know how to do what you do. I know how to talk with you and how to bounce off of things you say, but I find that your knowledge vastly superior to my own knowledge when it comes to the inner workings of this shit.
That just means I don't have much of a life to be able to make room in my head for a lot.
You're
of that.
A nerd. It's all right, man.
It's all part of the murder room. Board.
The murder board. I posted that meme again that I did of you, Martin.
I know.
With the Charlie Day when he's doing the murder board thing, it's fucking great. I'm like, well, that's Keith.
I keep thinking nowadays.
Fucking mind.
I keep thinking nowadays when I do conventions and stuff, I'm thinking half the people just expect me to hand them a piece of red string or something from the murder board. Here you go. Here's a little something straight from the board.
I got to tell you, on some of our intros, if I were a better animator, I would do a murder board over top of everything. Crime scene tape and shit. I think it'd be funny.
Oh, yeah. Nowadays that you'd have to attribute that to Alan Ng and the work that he's doing with the D-Files. That's just incredible stuff. It's sad, but it's incredible. From what he and Chris Gore are doing is been very informative and enlightening.
We got to get Chris Gore back on.
Yeah,
you should put an invite out to him.
Well,
it shouldn't always be me.
Either Chris Gore or Alan Ng, one of the two. Alan is the one.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Don't think small. Fuck it.
Go big.
I'd like to talk to Chris Gore again about, because of our mutual acquaintance. I'd like to tell him what happened. And,
I just think that after what he had to say, I think his idea is pretty sound. There's got to be a blacklist of animators, people who have been blacklisted. And his idea is to just go ahead and find that list and contact all those animators for a project that he's got. I'm thinking that's a smart move on his part. It's like, yeah, go ahead and contact these people because you're getting quality people to work on something.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, I just saw Scribe Light dropped in and said, "Good morning, everyone."
Hey,
Morning to
Scribe
him.
Light.
Monkey Jeeves says he's got Chris Gore's phone number.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You should send him an invite to join you at the end so you can like put a call into him. I'm serious. Get a hold of him. Get him back on the show. Tell him I don't want him back though. I want you back on the show. Gerry doesn't. He thinks you make him look bad.
Yeah. Okay. We can.
I'm a shitster. My humor is fucked up.
Our Rolodex of people who know people, and Chris has his list, and Gerry has his, and let's see who's thicker. So
now, Chris, fuck man, Chris is the shit. I just find it funny that when he started Film Threat magazine, it was just like stapled printed on the campus copy machine, you know. And Josh Becker read it, and he just wrote in this. I think it was a 5 or 6 page letter of everything wrong with issue 1. And Chris Gore is like, wow. They don't agree with each other at all. And but he hired Josh, and Josh was the first guy to ever interview Quentin Tarantino. Insulted him to his face, and then later insulted him again to the point where they would never have anything to do with Josh Becker.
wow.
And that's Josh, you know, he doesn't fucking care. You know what? It's not. You know what? It's not a blacklist. It's a white list because those are the people they hate. Well, I think that there are people of color on that list too.
Oh yeah, people who don't have the right think.
They just don't think the same way.
Yeah,
because this really is about the way people think. I know quite a few, and I'm going to bring up just conservative thinking black men that absolutely get called Uncle Tom. And what I find ironic when you get called Uncle Tom, I'm like, have you ever read the fucking book? Before you go calling somebody that name, maybe you should understand what that book is about.
Or at least so the miniseries.
What?
Or at least see the miniseries.
Is there a miniseries? Oh, that's right, there is one. Yeah.
Yes.
You and I talked
there
about
are
that
two,
before.
in fact.
Yeah. I've never seen any of them. I read the book when I was a kid. And what I find interesting is the thing that they call racist is when you really look at it at the period it was made, isn't really racist. It's just that's the period of time. Yeah. But everybody wants to look at the past through a modern lens. And you can't do that. You have to look at the time for what it was. And, you know, you and I've talked about, I just forgot his name. Damn it. The actor that was in like all of the Charlie Chan movies that played his driver. He was the black comic relief.
Yeah, he was. He played Roger.
Yeah, his name just escapes me. But you know, when we look back on that, we all frown because he was oh yeah, boss, the way he talked, right? But he was taking the first steps into Hollywood, and he helped change things. Every single time you have somebody step in and take that step, they're making changes. The woman that played the maid housekeeper in Gone with the Wind got an Oscar.
Hattie McDonald.
You know, and each one of them had an important role. Whether you like it or not, they had an important role. And eventually there comes a point where people become more aware. People weren't aware back then. And thanks to the gradual growth of time, you become more aware of, race relations and things. But you look at the way young black men dressed in the 40s and 50s and compare that to the way young black men dress today. And you can see that there's a problem. There's a disconnect because they had more respect for themselves. And you know what I'm talking about because you're that way.
Rochester, as played by Eddie Anderson.
Eddie Anderson was different, though. Yeah. Eddie Anderson was an equal to Jack Benny. That was unprecedented.
Because there were times that he was his conscience, basically.
Yeah.
He
was
the
Jiminy
one that,
Cricket. That's right.
he was the one that was constantly pointing out how Jack, his latest scheme wouldn't work. And wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. A man who looks at life a little differently comes up with schemes. I was just thinking, it's like a certain TV show that's in its final season right now. I seems too close to it. Anyway,
wait a minute. What are you talking about?
A certain HBO series.
I don't watch much HBO, so help me.
That would be
Google.
I should Google it.
Just Google it.
Hold on.
You should be doing it with your right hand while you're talking, so nobody knows that you're slipping.
I'm old. I'll admit that.
Oh yeah, you went to see it with Monkey Jeeves said that he went to see
Larry David.
Megan.
Yeah.
Oh, Larry David.
Yeah. Larry David's show. It seems a lot like Larry David's show, minus having the black guy who was there to. Well, then again, wait a minute. Huh. Anyway, no. I'm getting off track here because I'm seeing.
You're talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes. But I mean, it's still. That's kind of like modern day Jack Benny, except a little more on the. He's very unagreeable, to whereas Jack was just more of a. He was always trying to save a little money. But
well, yeah, because he was cheap.
Yeah. But
Rochester.
I just think that I know I would be someone that they would not like because I'm a little too individualistic with my thoughts. I don't fall in line the way that I quote unquote should. I'm the one that's saying, look, if you are all about all that you're saying that you're about, how come you feel the need to change things that already are? Why don't you just give people of color and women the opportunity to create something new? Instead, they're all about changing things because it's more about money than it is about their message.
This is we talked about it yesterday too, because I said you and I've been preaching about this, and you the one started me on this path of corporate filmmaking.
Yeah,
that came up on Midnight Edge yesterday, and I absolutely threw your name out there as being one of the first people to really start talking about corporate filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't see this really in the independent market. You only see it in corporate filmmaking, Disney, the major studios, and Disney mostly. This kind of weird groupthink of filmmaking.
It's part of the reason why the Warner Brothers DC movies didn't do very well. As I've often argued, I never said that the Snyder films were perfect. But you would be remiss in thinking that Snyder came up with all that stuff on his own and that his original ideas were shot down almost immediately as soon as he came up with a lot of that stuff. A lot of Snyder's films were really just a lot of him compromising because Warner Brothers executives were that involved in the making of his movies. The only film that he didn't have to deal too much with Warner Brothers as far as corporate interference was Man of Steel. And that was it. From that point on, he had to deal with Warner Brothers on his backside. And every film he made, there were more people that were part of the process of getting their 2 cents in. And Justice League was really about him making a whole lot of compromises to what Warner Brothers wanted to be and wanted that film to be. And
still they interfered with it.
Yeah, they still interfered with it. There's a lot of compromising. And I told, I was on another show and I said, look, guys, you got to understand. I I can definitely now say that Kevin Feige somehow either knew somebody or himself had gotten a look at Snyder's plans for the Justice League films, because that's how they came up with the idea for Infinity War and Endgame, and for the idea to eventually kill off Tony Stark, which matches what Snyder was going to do for his 3 Justice League movies and the ultimate end to the entire saga, which was Bruce Wayne dying, sacrificing himself for everybody. And that's something that you can find online now. The entire thing's been released. You can check it out for yourself. And yes, Snyder got it all copyrighted. It's all down there as to when he wrote everything and when he submitted it. So, and again, Feige's never pushed back on that accusation. Any of those accusations, you know. Yeah. I feel bad for her, as I said earlier in the show. I really do feel bad for Dakota Johnson, because
this is only coming out now because the film's tanking.
Oh yeah, nobody ever sets out to make a bad.
This is a
movie.
black eye for Sony.
Oh, big time. It
as
shows,
well as damage for obviously Disney and Marvel.
Well, that's the real reason why they put out the Valentine's Day picture with the Fantastic Four. It was to get everybody thinking, hey, we got something else. The thing is, though, given some of the things I've heard about Fantastic Four script, you may not want to put that out there like that. Because,
well, the one thing, because look, Andre had a really good point. He says, look at that artwork and really what it's saying. That is not modern. It's clearly the 60s. That Life magazine that the thing is looking at is from the 60s. Yeah. The logo that you see from Marvel, that's Harvey's old logo.
Mm-hmm.
It's done in the way Harvey did their logo, which is the late 50s, early 60s. Mm-hmm. So he says everything in that little Valentine's Day image screams, this is going to be a period piece.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's their attempt to basically restart everything again and do what they did with Captain America. But the difference is you're talking Marvel the way it is now, given everything they've done even recently, trying to do something like this. You know, either Ben Grimm or Johnny Storm are going to be gay.
That and that we keep hearing the rumor that I just forgot his name. Reed Richards is going to be the villain.
Yeah, Reed Richards will be the villain. They're going to set it up so that that Sue will be the girl boss. She'll have ample reason to not like Reed and to eventually get away from him. And I think either with the sequel film or even the third film, they'll have it to where she hooks up with Namor.
It's going to be just like with Discovery Season 1.
It's
with
Ramon.
Discovery Season 1, you've got Lorca, played by Isaacs. Okay. And I think we were on episode 5, and I was sitting there with, Travis. I was sitting with Travis and Crystal and Kyle. And we were watching it, and I said, Lorca's the villain. And they're like, how do you know? I said, because he's too cool and too good a character. They're going to, as a man, in a show that's clearly fourth wave feminist, they're going to turn him into the villain. Oh, they did. And they were there. I'll tell you, you asked Travis, I said that. Episode 5.
I believe it. I mean,
he's the villain.
Yeah.
Ordinary Marvel Comics legend dies at 74 per comic book. Wow. That's young. It's like, look, men should make it into their 80s now. At least if they want to. Like, I know sometimes you get the hurting and it's like, I don't want to live into my 80s. I don't think I want to. But 74 is young.
He was very good. He was part of the British arm of Marvel Comics.
Oh, he was a limey?
He's the former Marvel UK editor-in-chief. And a legendary artist, inker. His work was good.
Now, somebody, because we bring up age, and there's one man that just never seemed to get past age 70 to me. And I got weepy-eyed watching his interview yesterday, is John Amos. Because I idolize that man. And I really did, because he was everything that I felt that a dad should be when he was on Good Times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I wish my dad was like John Amos, because John Amos is just fair. He'll whoop your ass, but he's fair.
Yep.
And knew his shit. And he, he wasn't the most educated man in the world, but he just knew something about everything, and he understood how things worked.
But he also wasn't afraid of saying there's right and wrong.
Yeah. And his sense of right and wrong is what got him fired.
Yep.
And it pisses me off still to this day he got fired. But John Amos did an interview last year, and I just saw the interview yesterday. And I got so emotional watching that interview. Man, I love that guy. But there's a guy who doesn't look like he's over 70. He's still just the energy in that guy, and the lack of, what do they say, black don't crack, man. He's got so few lines on his face, man.
I know.
He could come back and play somebody 20, 30 years younger than him.
Mm-hmm. I got the chance to meet him.
What was that like? Is he as cool in person as
he was cool, but I mean, he was tired when I got a chance to meet him. He had come through town doing a play, and I just happened to, and I wasn't expecting, I was doing something else. And he happens to be walking my way. And I had to just go up and shake his hand, thank him for.
What, he'd been out there all day? Is probably why.
Yeah. It's just, it was just.
I bet he was fucking awesome early in the day.
Oh, geez.
That's why I think it's important, especially as you get older, nap during the day. Take a nap, take a siesta. Because it helps you get that energy for the second part of your day.
Yeah.
Look at Anima fucking telling me what to do. Better fucking grow old. But anyway, I have not, by the way, I've not put her on any of our thumbnails. And and there's a question in my mind, like, why haven't I? And it's because I don't want to ever feel like there's some sort of great expectation on her. But I love that she does shows with me.
It's great. I mean, yeah, you're able to see, at least Anima wants to do shows with you. You know, I've tried asking my other half, and she's just too busy for what she wants to do.
And I can already see the look on her face. Hey, baby, why don't you get on with me? I know, Mel. She just give you that look.
Yeah, you do know her. I just, but it's part of why we get along the way that we do. Again,
Here's another version of Mel right here. Here's another version of Mel right there. I've seen her give you that look.
Yeah, she's not afraid to be very expressive.
You'll do something. I remember we were at that one convention and you did something, and she just stopped and she was just looking at you. And I looked at her and I went, I am not getting in between that right now, because I think that will melt fucking flesh.
Yeah. Yeah. There are times when I can almost feel her eyes on the back of my head. I've trained myself sometimes not to turn around, because
yeah, don't turn around. You will turn to stone. You will die.
There were those moments in our relationship, in our marriage, where I'm starting to hit those numbers. It's like, you know what? I think I better call my mom. Hold on, and ask her, where did I go wrong? How did I mess up? Hey, Mom. She's giving me a look. Can you tell me? It's like, oh no, son, you messed up.
I'm trying to find that interview right now so I can share it with everybody.
So I missed that. But yeah, if you've got somebody in your life that enjoys many of the things you do, try to
Oh, and she does. She's a nerd.
Try to share as much of that as possible, but understand for certain spouses there are lines. So you got to know where that line is. Don't be like me. Go traipse some line.
Or get a good couch.
Or get a good couch, yeah. Because, oh man, that couch. Oh, and here's a little something else, just to let you know. My wife is getting rid of that couch. She found somebody to take it, so it looks like I'll be sleeping on the floor.
Time to get that big puffy sleeping bag.
Oh, yeah. I haven't gotten in trouble like that in a little bit. Hopefully, I can keep that record going. So,
man, oh man, how is everything going with your brothers?
Good. Again, I'm trying to get my twin brother to come on the show, but his work hours suck. I mean, he's currently at work, so there's almost no way to get him to be on this show with me during this time, which I was hoping to do, but I totally get it. He's got to make that money. So, but his wife is kind of excited, if I'm able to get him on this show, because she said, yeah, he'd probably enjoy it. He'd be good at it. Bring our sense of humor and sensibilities to something like this. So, and again, as I've said before, he does watch our shows. He likes to watch us. He especially likes to watch Gerry because that's his favorite.
Yeah, he'll always interact with me when they come up. My big problem is in groups of people, I tend to actually be very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sort of like I'm watching everybody around me because I feel like I'm part of the furniture. I don't feel like I'm part of the crowd. It's just the way my brain is wired. But he'll fucking engage with me every single time. Actually, all your brothers do.
Yeah, but, well, they like you. I mean, come on. I mean, Mike and James and Kevin, they like you. And they see exactly what I see in you, so they figure, you know what, Gerry's cool.
I can't find this interview with John Amos that I saw the other night, but I did find this one. No, I found this one, so I'm going to share it in the private chat here, Keith. This is from last year.
Okay.
It was done with pre-Diz. There we go. Boom. There's the link.
Cool. Hey, boss,
I've not seen this one. Oh, go for it, man.
Okay, here we go.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
Cool.
We broke
Love it.
4K. In fact, Toxic Man Flu broke 4K with us. It's now at he hit us with $50 yesterday.
Wow.
So thanks to Midnight's Edge, we hit 4K, and then afterward, Toxic Man Flu, and all of them are trying to figure out how to get me on their shows because I told them, I said, the movement seems to only occur now when I go on other people's shows to talk about it. And Script Doctor talked to a marketing specialist who came back and gave me some great notes, and I'm going to try to implement them today on everything. What I really liked is he commended a lot of the things that I wrote to market the thing. He says, but you need to go further, is what he said. You need to go further. You need to do this, that, and the other. And I wouldn't have been able to do any of it if I hadn't been working in marketing for like 15 years. Because even though I was an artist, I worked in the marketing part, and I understood marketing. I just understand it. And I'm not great at it. I just understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Half an hour late. You really are confused today, Martin.
No, I just
I
didn't
know,
want
because
to
I came in
interrupt.
I popped in 13 minutes after the first hour. And you hadn't played it yet.
Because you were talking. So
no, you should have played it before I even got here. Is what I'm saying, Martin.
No.
Yes.
No. We started later. We started late today.
No, I'm looking up there. I'm looking up at the live where it's countdown, and we were at 1:13 when I popped in.
Not true. Okay. Do you want me to show the interview?
What interview?
With
John Amos.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's up to you, Keith. It's your show.
Oh yeah, we can share it. We can share it.
Okay.
I still got to have enough time.
If it plays any music, skip the music because I don't want to skip.
Yeah.
Because I'm still pissed. Our Toxic Tuesday got ganked by Fox for White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Music. Skip ahead. Look for when you first see the person's appear. Here we go. Go to that point.
It's gonna be music.
Nalda Addy, and we're on our way to Buffalo, Portland. To my left is the old road. To my right is the Rio Grande.
I would skip.
As usual, you don't know to have a whole heap of entertainment and lifestyle content for you guys. So about and good times. So let's hear some more about his story. How does it feel being in Jamaica?
It feels wonderful. It feels like coming home again.
How many times have you been here before?
I couldn't really say, but I know it's been well in excess of a half dozen times. And one of your Jamaican stars that I had the pleasure of working with, Matt St. Clair, of course, was from Jamaica. And it was a very pleasurable situation working with Miss St. Clair.
How did a budding football star become an actor?
You're very, very kind and called me a budding football star. No, I was an aspiring player, but I never really made it in the National Football League. I just tried several times. And consequently, my son is named KC after the Kansas City Chiefs, with whom I had 2 tryouts. And I'll be forever grateful to the late Hank Stram, the coach of the Chiefs championship team, of course, because he gave me direction for the rest of my life. He told me, he said, John, the second time he released me from the team, he said, John, I don't believe that you are a professional football player.
Bill, why you tell me this now?
You were and still are a household name here in Jamaica due to your role on Good Times. Many were disappointed when you disappeared from the show. Why was your character virtually killed off?
Well, we had some creative differences. That is, myself and the creative staff of the Norman Lear production company. Very, very passionate differences, or at least I expressed them passionately. They had their perception predicated on Hollywood stereotypical thinking as to what this black family would be, and I had my own perception, which was predicated on reality. Haven't been raised in a black family, of course.
I want to apologize to you for yelling at you the way I did here.
Oh, that's all right, Dad. Does that mean I can take the job?
No. I ain't apologizing for what I said. I'm just apologizing for the way I said it.
Your portrayal of Kunta Kinte in the iconic, historically accurate show Roots transformed lives. How did you land such a huge role?
I was very, very fortunate. As I said early on in the interview, timing is everything. And my timing for that opportunity could not have been better. It was God-given to me.
On Good Times, you portrayed a very supportive and loving father, going above and all to ensure that you provided for your children. In real life, we've seen videos of you and your children on social media. How important is family life to you?
Imperative. Family life is everything. It's what sustains us all, no matter where we are on the planet or where we come from or what our ethnic background is. Family life is imperative that we retain it, know more about it, and cultivate it, nurture it.
If you could turn back the hands of time and change something in your life or career, what would that be?
That is a very interesting question. What would I change if I could go back in time? I guess I would change my attitude where I was a little bit confident, well, not a little bit. Some directors that I've worked with said I was extremely confrontational. And I concede the fact that I was not the most diplomatic person in the world when it came to demanding script changes or more accuracy or sensitivity on the part of the writers.
Damn.
James, please.
Now don't give me none of that James, please, Florida. First it was that lousy gift certificate, then them phone calls. Now somebody got my daughter all upset. Make me damn glad I did what I did.
What is it that you'd like to be best remembered for?
I'm grateful for any memories that audiences that I've performed before might have of anything that I've done. If I made them laugh and that was the objective, then I've reached my objective, and that is gratifying. If I made them cry or respond or just think about the performance and regard it as something real that they can associate with in their own real lives, then I've done my job as an actor.
You're not just a father. You're the king. And heavy lies the head that wears the crown.
Yes, I understand that expression more now. It's not so much the crown that is so heavy.
It's everything that comes with it.
How did you land the role in Good Times?
The truth of it is, had it not been for Esther Roll, who played, of course, the matriarch of the family and was the star of the show, Miss Roll was given the opportunity to star in her own series. And when this was a result of her having done a stellar performance in an episode of Maude. So they asked Miss Roll, would you be interested? And of course she said yes. She said, but I don't want to be a matriarch alone. I don't want to be a widow. I want a family. I want a husband. And then it became a matter of who was going to play her husband. So a number of actors auditioned. I was amongst them. And after I finished my audition, which I did on camera with Esther Roll in front of Norman Lear and a couple of his associates, producers, she said, that's my husband. That's the guy I want. And I've never been so glad to be chosen in my life.
Wow, look who's there.
Man, this brown bag of bones been messing with my wife. Yeah, well, just lighten up, brother, because this brown bag of bones happens to be my son. That's right. You lucky my dad got here.
What do you consider your most challenging or important role?
The most challenging or important role, I'd have to say Roots hangs right in there at the top.
Do you keep in touch with your co-stars from Good Times?
Ironically enough, my daughter, an extremely talented actress, Bernadette Stannis, who portrayed my daughter Thelma on Good Times, called me day before yesterday or so. We don't keep in touch on a regular phone call basis, and we don't meet often enough because our respective schedules often have us in different parts of the world. So it's very often it's difficult to physically get together. But I'm looking forward to a continued relationship with those surviving members. Of course, as Miss Roll, who portrayed my wife on the show, she is now deceased, as is Janae Dubois, who portrayed our next door neighbor, Walona.
Hey, Junior, give me some aspirin for my headache, will you? Well, don't just stand there like a fool. Give me some aspirin. Yeah, Dad. You sure can act ignorant sometimes.
Which episode of Good Times would you say was your most memorable and why?
There's so many wonderful episodes. I would have to say at the time,
Well,
the episode in which JJ got shot.
What is your advice to others who are involved with and would like to become involved in the arts and the movies?
My advice, I'm often asked that question, and my advice usually to parents who have children who aspire to be in the entertainment industry as actors. I would tell them, I said, become aware of all the actors that you've admired, become conversant with their work and the paths that they chose, but study, never stop studying.
Son, I'm just gonna tell you this one time.
Yes.
You want to keep working here. Stay off the drugs.
It's now time for our first break. We'll be right back.
All right, let's go ahead and stop it there. That was a good interview. I like that.
That was it again. An incredible actor, and I've enjoyed any time that I've seen him in anything. I enjoyed all of his appearances on The West Wing. He was incredible on that show. He wasn't on it very long, but those scenes that he did have were just incredible. But meeting him in person was definitely one of my favorite highlights. So,
yeah, I really want to. I hope I get a chance to meet him one day. He's one of those people I'd love to interview.
I was just one of those lucky happenstances because he just happened to be walking through where I was at, and I had to say something. I don't think I could have not said anything to him. So, okay. Now we have reached the point in the show where I can at least give us now our black character of the day or of the week. This is a character, well, in this case, two characters that I truly, truly love. And I think DC Comics does not do enough with them. And for those particular people, namely Greg Berlanti, I'm still wondering when you were ever going to get around to having these characters because they should have been a part of Titans. These characters should have definitely been a part of Titans. And the fact that you went out of your way not to have them on Titans, in my opinion, says way more about where your head was actually at for that show than anything else. The characters that we will be discussing today are Malcolm or Mal and Karen Beecher Duncan. Those characters are incredible. Karen is Bumblebee, and Mal, well, her husband Mal eventually became the current version of Guardian for DC Comics, and then eventually I think he took up another hero after before that though. But I mean, I liked him as the Guardian. This is one of those characters. Both of them are one of those characters that had, I think, and still have the best relationship in comics. They've been married all these years. They are the parents of one son. I think if you've watched Young Justice, you'll see both those characters on Young Justice, especially in seasons 2 and 3. You'll see parts of their story play out on that show. They are in my opinion, one of the top 3 best relationships in comics between DC and Marvel Comics. Their relationship's one of the top 3. People always point out, Clark and Lois, Peter and Mary Jane. But if you're going to go that direction, you've got to put Mal and Karen up there. Because, whereas Clark and Lois have had their issues and took a long time to get together, even Peter and Mary Jane had a few bumps leading to them getting together and getting married. With Mal and Karen, it was pretty much immediate. And again, waiting for somebody to have the guts to feature them in either their own cartoon or live action. Her powers as Bumblebee are amazing. And it may not be too original for people, but the character's been around since 1976. Made her debut in Teen Titans 45. And that is pre version of 80s Teen Titans. Teen Titans had 3 eras. The original Titans, which were all just the sidekicks. Then you had the second era of the 70s, and that's where Mal and Karen were a part of. And then you had the third version of the Titans in the 80s, which is the one that often gets referenced a lot, and different people do their own spins, even though a lot of the characters connected to them are, well, not all of them. 3 of them were made specifically for the comic, but a majority of the other characters were just characters that had already been around DC for a while. But again, it just makes no sense why Warner Brothers up to this point has never utilized these characters. And given the current climate, it wouldn't be that unexpected to have Mal and Karen, although I'm still just trying to wrap my head around the reason why the Titans television series never had these characters. If you were looking for characters of color, if you were looking for some black characters to have on Titans, rather than race swap one of the characters, you could have had these 2 on.
Yep.
Just saying, And Karen is that smart. She's not just someone who put on a suit. She basically created that suit. And she's smart enough to be one of the most intelligent members of the Titans. But again, it just seems like Greg Berlanti only wants you if you can actually just switch us out with someone else that already exists. So there you go.
Yeah, he's not interested unless he gets the virtue signal.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, But these are the characters that I picked for this week. Definitely check them out. Like I said, they've been off and on members of the Titans for decades now. And they're definitely fun characters to read. Unfortunately, DC just never saw fit to even give them their own comic. And that's unfortunate. I would like to see that change. Do you have any other words about this, Gerry?
No, I do. One more thing I've got to say about shit going on right now, though, is I'll share it with this image from Bounding into Comics Facebook page. A comic book movie is objectively terrible when a woman who looks like this can't sell tickets to it.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Yep, and it's true. She's gorgeous. She should be this movie should be raking in the bucks, but they decided virtue signal and make all these beautiful women look unattractive.
Well, here's the thing.
Hey,
this particular actress should not have been in Madam Web. They should have given her Felicia Hardy. She should have been Black Cat. She should have been the Black Cat. Looking like that,
they're trying not to make money.
Yes. That's the only way I can see that, which is like you've got to be going out of your way not to make any money at all.
Wait.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
She's a gorgeous woman, and
Yeah, she is.
audacious tatas, and she should be raking in the money for this movie. They digitally, is what I heard. They digitally removed her boobs, made them super small.
No.
What?
Really?
Photos. You can
God.
see in the photos that if they didn't do it digitally, they wrapped her because she's got double D's, and they made her look like she's like A size. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic. It is. But I do see Zax is here. Good morning, buddy.
That's a
good
crime.
to see you.
That
It
is-
is.
That is a
And Gap is here too, by the way. I said it earlier, but I don't know if you heard me. Gap.
Hello, Cap. I'm. That should be that. Just as a man, that's just it's wrong. And I stand. You know what? I even believe.
Who are they making the movies for? That's the big question.
Yeah.
For themselves.
No. A lot of
They're
these
not making
people
it for an audience that wants to see movies.
Yeah. A lot of these executives have no idea what's in these comics. They don't care. They really don't care. But to not have this actress be Felicia Hardy, especially with double D's, jeez, that's sad. That's just, yeah. You brought this on yourself, Amy Pascal. All y'all, you brought this on yourself.
And the director of the film, she shouldn't be allowed near a movie again.
Yeah. You know what, Monkey Jeebus? Probably, but even then,
Yeah, and ironically, none of them are going to see it.
That's because even women like to see women with double D's. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
Everybody likes boobs.
Right?
Even babies, and babies do not like nothing.
That's right. Babies do like boobs. Most babies, very hungry babies, see a woman with double D's thinking, oh, she's for me. Most men will think the same thing. Oh, she's definitely for me. But I'm just flabbergasted that they would go out of their way to spend the kind of money that they did and produce that on purpose.
And on Twitter, you can tell these are bots, bought by Disney, because they're posting the exact same thing. All these different accounts are saying the exact same thing. You know, best editing, best writing, best acting. It's like, this movie's incredible. And really? Why are the theaters so empty? Oh, it's the economy. Then why is the competing film making good money? Oh, yeah, that other film, it's making money that got released the same day.
We'll see how bad the economy is when Dune Part 2 comes out.
Boy, I got to tell you, if the rumors that I've heard and the thing that he said is true, it sounds terrible.
Really?
That he's making Chani the main character.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, Alan Ing talked about that. Alan Ing talked about that. He's already seen the movie.
What did he say?
He said that it's not what you think. It is not what you think at all. In fact, they are sticking to the book. A lot of that thing about Shawnee is just for marketing. But when you go to see the movie, Paul is the one who is the character because it's a war movie. You know, I just I want to see this. I want to see this film, and I want to see the next one. I want to.
Well,
see
we will be doing on Tom and Gary. We're going to be doing Dune 1984.
Cool.
And Andre is supposed to be joining us. So Keith, you've got to join us for that one.
Which version of Dune are you doing?
We're going to be doing the special, the Spice edit.
Ooh.
And if you've not seen it, I've got it so I can share it with you.
No, I think I've seen that one. I like that one. That's the one that starts out with the.
It's basically the closest you'll ever get to a director's cut.
Yeah. Is it? Oh, okay. I was going to say.
all David Lynch has to do, and I talked with Andre and Tom about this. David Lynch has to do is give his thumbs up, and that's the official director's cut.
Wow. And he just hasn't.
I told you when I went to dinner at his house back in '85. When we got there, Ron turns to me as I'm getting out of the back door. I was in the back seat. And I'm getting out of the car. Ron turns to me and goes, "Oh, and we can't talk about Dune." All I want to talk about. It's like when I had dinner with Dolph Lundgren when he was dating Ann Woodward, Jim's sister. And like right before dinner starts, as I'm coming in, Jim's go, "Oh, and they don't want you to talk about He-Man." I'm like, Masters of the Universe? I can't talk to them about Masters of the Universe. Are you kidding me? I still slipped it in, and Jim Woodward kicked me for it.
Yeah.
Like, he said something about method acting, and I said, "Is that what you used when you played Adam and He-Man?"
Oh, man.
It was worth the kick to the shin.
Well, let me at least just say, after this past weekend, having met Sam Jones, a.k.a. Flash Gordon.
Oh, we got to do Flash Gordon. I've already made the thumbnail for it.
Okay. I must say, I have met a lot of actors. He was so much fun to talk.
Did you get contact info? Because I would love if we could ever.
Oh, he didn't give me any contact info, but he gave me nice conversation, firm handshake. And again, people got to realize this guy has been around for a while. He was in one of the biggest movies. I mean, he had one of the biggest debuts that anybody could have in getting into the film industry. And his first movie is a Blake Edwards comedy. And he got a chance.
10?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's opposite Dudley Moore, Julie Andrews, and Bo Derek. It's like,
yeah, he's the guy that Bo Derek would have really gone with.
Yeah. And it was just like, oh my God, how does that feel to just make your first movie and that's what you're dealing with? You got Blake Edwards, you got his wife Julie Andrews, you got Dudley Moore, and you got Bo Derek. I mean,
was he dubbed in Flash Gordon? I didn't know that.
I don't.
I didn't know that. I thought that was his voice.
It sounds like him.
It does sound like him, but if that's a dub, a better dub
in
job.
The Flash Gordon trailer for 1980 sci-fi cult classic, famously, the title star Sam Jones left the production before work was completed. Yes. Seeing large swathes of dialogue were dubbed by an actor who remains unknown to this day. So it's not the entire film; it's just parts of it.
Yeah,
that's weird. I didn't know that. Now I know that, and now that will be brought up for the day that we do it.
Yeah.
So he was dubbed for parts of the film.
Still, that's amazing.
I wonder why he left like that.
That's a good
question.
Okay,
here we go. Here's the answer to it. Due to a dispute with Dino De Laurentiis, imagine that, Jones left the film. I was shitting on him yesterday on Midnight's Edge. I was shitting on him, man. It's like, I said, you better make sure it's in your fucking contract when you work with Dino De Laurentiis, because he will fuck you. Prior to the end of principal photography, resulting much of the dialogue being dubbed by actor Peter Marinker. The circumstances of Jones' departure from the project and his career in the aftermath of its release serve as the key subjects of the documentary
Life After
about
Flash.
the making of the film.
Oh.
Holy shit. All these years I've been a fan of that film, and I didn't know that. Thanks, monkey. Dick.
Thank you very much, monkey.
We appreciate it, man.
That's definitely something to bring up for that movie. But yeah, I'd like to participate in that one. I think you guys have already done Buckaroo Banzai, haven't you?
No.
Yes. Yeah, we did. Didn't we?
No,
we have.
Not in this
I know
channel.
we watched it. Maybe we didn't do it yet.
No, I think maybe on Nick Weiser, but not here.
Well, then we
That
need
might
to
be
do
it.
we need
We
to
need
do our
to,
own.
because Buckaroo Banzai is one of my top 10 favorite
Oh,
films of all time.
geez. And there's a lot of information out there, both in terms of the making of, but also in terms of the character and how it relates to the sequel book that has come out.
And its connection with Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. Oh, geez. Again, hold on. I need to get on camera for this one, but dear Hollywood, how come you've never really tried to make either a sequel or restart?
Oh shit, you're black.
Oh.
On camera.
Nah, that's an AI filter.
It's an AI filter, that's right.
He's Japanese.
He's actually just your typical cracker.
Hey.
But, no, go ahead. Finish what you were saying, dude. You're onto something.
Hollywood. Look, my whole thing is, who would you cast for an updated or a remake version, or an attempt to either further the adventures of Buckaroo Banzai? I mean, that's definitely a cast that you would have to put together. I don't think it's possible to really invite back any of the original actors unless you decided to just go with, son of Buckaroo, in this case, grandson of Buckaroo. But if you were to attempt to do that now, I mean, who
just say Buckaroo Banzai Jr.
that sounds like Briscoe County Jr.
I like that show.
That was awesome, man.
But that's what I would like to know. How come nobody's ever truly attempted that? Because that would seem like it would be a fun project. Rock star, scientist. Right. And just inviting in other actors to fill out the roles. So, geez. Thank you, Gap.
Here, hold on now. Oh, I jumped onto YouTube and immediately. Oh, geez. Oh, geez.
Every time I say it, I think of Sean Connery saying it. Oh, jeez. Jared Leto, really? Really?
What about Jared Leto?
Jared Leto.
Buckaroo.
No.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Let me be more to the point. Fuck no.
He can sing. He's got
it's so creepy.
But yeah, you don't need a creepy Buckaroo Banzai.
Are we ever going to find another Peter Weller? We found another Jimmy Stewart with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
You get these actors that kind of fill the right shoes, but God, man,
you know what?
Who could fill the shoes of Peter Weller as Buckaroo or RoboCop? I like that kid that tried to play RoboCop, but still, it wasn't right. He's not right for the part. He's just not right for the part.
I liked him better in the Suicide Squad films that he was in, but yeah,
he was great in that.
Yeah,
but there you go. Here's something. Would an actor like of his caliber? He's a very good fucking actor. Could he be Buckaroo?
No, because I couldn't buy him as a musical artist. I mean, Buckaroo Banzai has to be someone who you could buy.
I don't know. I bought him as a complete dipshit when he was on The Killing.
True.
I was like, God, this guy's a dipshit. It's sort of like the kid that was in Breaking Bad, his partner.
Yeah.
Because, God damn, I fucking hated that character so much. Jesse. I hated that character a lot. But it's because of how good of an actor he was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing for him because, man, when his first big role was in The Killing. And because for the same fucking reasons, because he's talking like he's from the hood and shit, and it's like fucking idiot. And no, he's just fucking acting.
And that character has a great arc. By the end of the show, man.
Yeah. Well, again, I agree with Gap. It would be hard to cast somebody, but if you do, you have to be able to buy them as someone who can not only sing and would look good leading a group, musical group, but who could turn around and who you could buy as probably the smartest guy in the room. You know, that's
I got one for you.
Okay.
Miles Teller. I take it you don't like it.
No, I'm tossing it around. I'm thinking Miles Teller. Okay, Monkey Jeebus, I have to give you that one.
Which one, Colin?
Oh, Finn, no.
Finn Wolfhard.
No,
I'd
he's too scrawny. But he's a good musician. He's very good.
He can always hit the gym.
He's got such a pencil neck. Oh my god.
The gym will take care of that. It made wonders for Christopher Reeves.
You have to be able to make it someone who you could buy having all of the degrees that Buckaroo has. You know, you can't make him too young. I mean, you can. Okay, again, it's easy to cast for one. It's easy to cast for the rock star. But then you have to go with the scientific portion of it. And the fact that this is someone who would have to have gravitas when he walks into a room to talk.
I tell you, man, there is something about Peter Weller, man, that there is this air of threat with him.
Yeah.
There's still that air.
And it's
Remember
something. It's about his steely eyes. Has something to play with it. I think that plays a part. The high cheekbones. He is just a character that it's not that he's menacing, but you look at him and you go, "This guy is cool, but he's fucking dangerous."
Yes, he projects danger.
Yeah. And what Martin is saying is projects, not predicts. I'm not saying your accent fumbled that one up, but your accent fumbled that one up to where some people didn't know what you said.
I think these are some things to think about.
I'm going to get him a wiffle bat so he can hit me with things when we're all in the same room.
Yeah, because I think he'd be tempted to do that.
Squeak, 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 squeak. Just keep hitting me.
But that's something for everybody out in chat to discuss. I mean, who would you
Bye,
cast?
Anima.
Anima, I'll meet you in the studio.
Who would you cast as Buckaroo Banzai? And look, if he were 25 years younger, I would go with Keanu Reeves.
Keanu can pull it off, but I don't know, man.
No.
I think that one actor in particular, he's too old now, is Kiefer Sutherland. And he's just too old now. I mean, he's my fucking age. Yours and my age.
Yeah.
Because we're old.
Really?
They're obsolete.
I just think that it would be, it's difficult to cast Buckaroo, but I think it can be done. You just need to really look. And once you find Buckaroo, I think it'll be a little easier to cast everyone else. You know, I mean, who would you cast as Perfect Tommy? Now, Finn Wolfhard would make a very good Perfect Tommy. Because he's always got to look good. You give him the latest fashions, the skinny jeans. Finn Wolfhard would really make a great Perfect Tommy.
By the way, speaking of him, I'm looking forward to the new Ghostbusters film, despite Patton Oswalt and that fucking Indian prick in it.
I think it's going to be rather interesting.
I hate both those fucking guys.
I'm just not the biggest fan of the Ghostbusters cartoon, so that portion of it.
Look, Dan Aykroyd, that's Dan Aykroyd, man.
Yeah.
You and I both know it. that's why Ghostbusters 2 is so much like the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Is he has a fucking hard-on for that cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to put it into everything. So it's going to happen. It's just, it's sort of like, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to find a good way of placing it. It's like, I really like the cheesecake at Cheesecake Factory. It's too bad they just don't have a plain cheesecake. I always got to get it with strawberry or chocolate or something, you know. So I don't want that on there. So I scoop it off and I just enjoy the cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best way I can say it. It's like there are parts of Ghostbusters that Dan Aykroyd fell in love with that I just don't fucking understand. I do not. Never will. All right, guys. I'm going to get going. Somebody's at the door.
Okay.
And you guys end the show the way you want. I'll see y'all later.
Have a good one, Gerry.
Thanks for tolerating. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Bye, boss.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Twisters too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I know what I'm going into. It's like an arcade version of the first one. And the thing is, if you know what you're getting into, you can enjoy it.
Yeah. I just, yeah. I just, I don't know. I really did enjoy the original Twister. I did not expect them to make a sequel, but if they're going to do it, then I may want to check that out. But here, let's see.
Yeah, I love to see that they use the same red truck with the same Dorothy device. I assume that one of the characters is related to the original characters. But yes, I want to see it. The third Twister is going to be two girls and a guy and some. Oh my god!
That's good. That's good. Okay. You got me with that one. Oh man. Anyway, yeah. Ooh. Funny.
They're gonna do a crossover with with DC, and they're gonna be there in the Twister that kill Packent.
Oh, wow. Anyway, well, I think that about sets everything up. I think we covered everything that we meant to cover today. Hopefully everybody had a good time. And again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And yeah, continue to keep this conversation going as far as who you would cast as Buckaroo Banzai.
Man, that's a tough assignment.
It's tough because you gotta, whoever you pick has to be believable in all the different segments. It's tough it's tough coming up with somebody, first of all, who could equal Peter Weller. But you got to have someone who can make that transition, who you could buy as a music artist and then turn around and buy as the smartest person in the room. But Finn Wolfhard thinking about it, would make a fantastic Perfect Tommy. So.
Really, Frank?
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Come on, gee.
Oh man. Okay. I see where this conversation's going.
Oh my god. I can't
Well,
believe the new Johnny Storm. No. No. Oh, no.
well, go ahead and share it because I sent it to you.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, Marilyn Manson's not looking as young as what he used to. It's looking a bit long in the tooth.
Wait, give me a second. Here it is. No. No. That guy doesn't look at all like Johnny Storm.
Well, I've heard some suggest that he should go ahead and color his hair, lighten it up to make it about as blonde as
And the
hers.
puffy face? Nah, he's not. It's official. I hate this casting.
Okay.
If you wanna go watch it, good for you. I hope you like it, but nah, it's a hard pass for me. No, nope.
I look at it this way: it'll be a miracle if we could make it to that film, because I still think that there are a few things that Kevin Feige is going to have to release between now and then that might just truly kill the brand well before we get to Fantastic Four. So, because they still got to release Agatha.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. And they are still planning on making the Eternals too.
My goodness.
I just don't get that one. I mean, okay, well, you go ahead and make the Eternals too. I think DC will get around to making Jonah Hex too also. So
Oh. Man, that one was a letdown.
Yeah.
That one was a letdown. Yes, Gap.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you this. I want to watch the Marvels just to know if it's worse than the Eternals, because for me, I have ever seen a worse MCU movie than the Eternals.
Oh, well, let me introduce you to Morpheus then.
I watch Morbius.
Morbius, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Morbius.
and at least I can laugh with that one.
Good point. Look, as I said earlier, nobody sets out to make a bad movie, but oh my goodness.
I'm beginning to think they are.
Gosh, that movie was bad. I'm one of those people that believes that starting with Black Widow, everything that came after it, unless it was a Spider-Man movie and or Guardians 3, everything else was just bad, in my opinion. It's just bad.
Wolverine. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Wolverine. The problem with Jonah Hex, man, how can you make a movie about Jonah Hex that is boring and forgettable?
With John Malkovich as the bad guy.
I swear to God, all I can remember about that movie is that it was boring.
And Michael Fassbender. How do you have John Malkovich and Michael Fassbender as bad guys? And look, I get it though. Jonah Hex is a great character, but you needed to find a different way of making that movie. I think you had the right actors, but that script just wasn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
So, again, stop trying to think. For me, having all those actors, I would have not tried to make it like a comic. I would have tried to make it like a Western. Think of Clint Eastwood as Jonah Hex. Now, move forward with that. Do what comes naturally after you get to that point. But, Adam Scott. Yeah, he was. Again, there's a lot of really good actors out there, many of which who have been in MCU movies who've never been in a DC film. I say go ahead and cast those people. But again, as I said last week, I think we should just shut all the rest of this stuff down and basically wait until after Superman Legacy comes out. See what the public's reaction is to it. Because if that movie fails, the rest of this stuff is moot. Zaslav is not going to hesitate firing James Gunn.
I don't know. I'm still thinking. I mean, James Gunn is good to something like Suicide Squad and the way he portrayed Peacemaker. But for something serious, I have problems envisioning that.
Mm-hmm.
But well, let's give. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what he comes out with.
Yes.
And then I'll judge.
There you go.
But I'm not too excited about it.
I don't think a lot of people are, but we'll see what happens.
However, I still freaking love Peacemaker. I cannot wait for the second season.
Yeah, well, that's on the way. It's on the way. Again, it's just season 1 was just so good, and a Peacemaker. It's going to be difficult, in my opinion, to try to get back to some of the weirdness in season 2. So, anyway, I think we'd better go. We've kept everybody long enough because it's time for the rest of you out there to start your day. So, on behalf of myself, Keith, it's been the main man, Martin himself. This has been Morning Coffee with Keith and Martin. So, we will see you back here tomorrow for TGIF. Until then, have a fantastic and much better day.
See you again, my friends.